passion and emotion.
Super yesterday.
Color chart is the heart of quick learning.
Fluency comes with practice.
Solo en Quick Learning, hablas o hablas.
Los premios Oscar están a la vuelta de la esquina y qué mejor momento para sumergirnos en el mundo del cine. En este episodio te traemos datos curiosos, anécdotas inolvidables y una trivia que pondrá a prueba tu conocimiento cinematográfico. Además, hasta podrás mejorar tu inglés mientras hablamos de películas icónicas. Así que si puedes, prepárate unas palomitas y disfruta, porque esto es The Quick Learning Podcast.
Hey everyone! Welcome back to the Quick Learning Podcast, where we make learning English fun and practical. I'm Allie, and today we're talking about something that's been shaping the way people learn English for decades: movies and the Oscars.
And I'm Jess. And since we're right in the middle of Oscar season, what better time to talk about it? The Oscars aren't just about red carpets and trophies. Movies are one of the best ways to learn real, natural English, from iconic phrases to accents and slang. So today, we're diving into how Hollywood has influenced the way the world speaks English.
Exactly. We always say that immersion is key when learning a language, and what better way to immerse yourself than through movies? Whether it's the way actors deliver lines, the expressions they use, or even the different accents, there's so much to learn.
Totally. Like, think about all those famous movie lines we quote all the time. Some of them have literally become part of everyday English.
Oh, for sure. Take "May the Force be with you" from Star Wars, or "I'll be back" from The Terminator. You don't have to be a sci-fi fan to have heard them,
Right? Or what about "You can't handle the truth" from A Few Good Men? People use that all the time, even outside of movies.
That's the beauty of it. Movies don't just entertain us, they teach us language naturally. Even people who aren't actively studying English pick up words and expressions just by watching.
And accents too. A movie like The King's Speech, for example, helps you understand formal British English, while something like Forrest Gump gives you a feel for Southern American English.
Yes! And if you've ever watched a Tarantino movie, you know how different characters speak depending on their background. It's like a masterclass in real-world English, don't you think?
That's a great point. Movies also introduce slang and idioms that you might not learn in a textbook. Like, The Godfather gave us, "I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse." That's classic.
Totally! And what about the iconic "I am Iron Man" from the Avengers?
Yeah, but I don't think people go around saying that in everyday conversations.
Okay, fair point. Unless, you're secretly a billionaire with a high-tech suit.
Right? But seriously, the point is, learning English through movies feels effortless. You're hearing English the way it's actually spoken, not just memorizing textbook sentences.
Exactly. And the Oscars are like a celebration of all those performances that have shaped the way we speak.
What advice would you give our listeners so they can make the most of watching the Oscars to improve their English?
Well, the obvious one is to watch the show in English.
Right.
But I'd say events like the Oscars and movies in general aren't just entertainment. They're a great way to learn English. So don't just watch. Listen closely, pick up new phrases from the speeches, and even try acting out some scenes yourself.
Wait, acting out scenes? You mean like actually pretending to be the movie characters?
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to go full Hollywood mode, but just saying the lines out loud helps so much with pronunciation and confidence.
Huh. I've never really thought about that. But it makes sense. Kind of like when you accidentally start repeating a line from a movie just because it's stuck in your head.
Exactly. I do that all the time without even realizing it. Like last week, I was at a friend's house and he asked if I wanted to stay for dinner. And I literally said, "You had me at hello." Total Jerry Maguire moment.
No way. And did he get the reference?
"Oh yeah," he laughed and said, "Show me the money." It turned into a whole thing. But see, that's what I mean. Even if you're just repeating a line for fun, it sticks with you, and suddenly you're using it naturally in conversations.
That's actually genius. So, for anyone listening, next time you hear a great line in a movie, try saying it out loud. Feel the rhythm, the pronunciation, even the emotion behind it.
Yes. And if you really want to go the extra mile, record yourself saying it and compare it to the original. It's like your own personal Oscar-winning performance.
I love it. Who knew learning English could be this fun, Jess?
Now, let's talk about the Oscars themselves. We've discussed how movies are great for learning English, but what about the ceremony? What's your take on the show?
The Oscars are such a spectacle. Beyond the awards, the glamour, and the fashion, I think the speeches are the best part. And honestly, a great way to boost your communication skills too. When celebrities step on stage, you get to hear real emotions, interesting expressions, and great storytelling. Some are funny, some are super emotional, and some are just surprising. It's fun to see how they express themselves.
Thank you so much.
I enjoy that just as much as the awards.
Absolutely. Some of those speech moments become iconic. Do you remember Roberto Benigni's acceptance speech for Life is Beautiful in 1999? He was so excited that he literally climbed over the seats.
Oh, totally. That was crazy, I know.
Exactly. And then there are those super emotional speeches that stay with you, like Halle Berry's when she won Best Actress for Monsters Ball. She was so overwhelmed she could barely speak.
And it wasn't just about winning, it was a huge moment in history. She was the first Black woman to win Best Actress, and you could tell how much it meant to her. She made sure to acknowledge how important it was, not just for her, but for so many people.
That's what makes Oscar speeches special. They're not just about thanking people, they give us unforgettable moments, famous quotes, and even some unexpected laughs.
Like when Jennifer Lawrence tripped on her way up to the stage. Instead of getting embarrassed, she made fun of herself and turned it into a funny moment.
Oh yeah, that was unforgettable.
But if we're going to talk about unforgettable Oscars moments, we have to mention Will Smith's incident.
Yeah, the moment that turned the Oscars into an action movie. Seriously, that was one of the most shocking moments in live TV.
Just like Chris Rock said, that was the greatest night in the history of television. That's real-life, unscripted communication right there.
That's another thing that makes live TV like the Oscars so great for English learners, don't you think? You get raw, real-time reactions, not just polished scripts.
Well, that was definitely a one-of-a-kind moment, but you're right. It's really interesting to see how people react in real time. You can watch presenters and winners think on their feet, recover from mistakes, or even crack jokes, all as it happens live. So, for anyone watching the Oscars this year, pay attention to those moments too. It can make the experience even more interesting and fun.
Speaking of this year's Oscars, what are you most excited about?
Oh, definitely the Best Actor race. The competition is intense this year, especially with Timothée Chalamet and Adrien Brody in the mix. What about you?
I'm really looking forward to seeing Conan O'Brien host. He's hilarious. I just know we're going to get some one-liners that people will be quoting for years.
Yeah, for sure. So what's your pick for Best Picture?
I think The Brutalist has a great shot. What about you?
I agree, but my personal favorite is A Complete Unknown.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yep, can't wait. All right, that's a wrap for today's episode. We love talking about movies and the Oscars, but we also want to hear from you. What are you most excited about for this year's Academy Awards? Who's your pick for Best Picture or Best Actor?
Or hey, drop a comment with your all-time favorite movie quote. We love geeking out over great lines.
Good idea, Ali. Let's make this a fun Oscars conversation. So leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And if you enjoyed this episode of the Quick Learning Podcast, don't forget to like and share it.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. See you next time.
Nada como una buena dosis de cine antes del gran evento. ¿Ya tienes tus películas favoritas para esta edición de los Oscar? Nos encantaría saber cuáles son, así que no olvides compartirlas en los comentarios de este episodio. Gracias por acompañarnos una vez más en The Quick Learning Podcast. Nos escuchamos la próxima semana para seguir practicando inglés juntos.
¿Listo para un reto extra? En la descripción de este episodio te dejamos un enlace con ejercicios diseñados por nuestros especialistas. Pronunciación, vocabulario, esa palabra que te cuesta tanto pronunciar. Tenemos de todo para que tu inglés suba de nivel sin que te des cuenta. Así que, dale clic, diviértete y sigue disfrutando de este podcast.
Action, passion, and emotion.
Super yesterday.
Color chart is the heart of quick learning.
Fluency comes with practice.
Solo en Quick Learning, hablas o hablas.